So, so the closest that I've ever found is through meditation to that pure positive energy.
Yes, because we teach meditation, because when you have an effective moment in meditation, you've quieted your mind. And when you quiet your mind, there's no resistant thought. And when there's no resistant thought, you go right into the vortex.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But we would rather see you in a state of frisky, or in a state of appreciation, or in a state of being in love, than in a state of meditation. And we teach meditation. People laugh at this, but we mean it sincerely. We teach meditation because it's easier to teach you to have no thought than to have pure positive thought.
Yeah, and I get that too, and which kind of is part of my question is that I'm surprised.
But you see, you give us a really good opportunity to say something in a very powerful way. Now think about it. You had an in the vortex experience. You had a moment in time where you released your consciousness and your awareness of this physical realm and morphed completely with source energy.
Yes.
And even with all of that, once in that alignment, the first thing you wanted to do was refocus back into the physical.
Yes,
Isn't that an interesting thing to acknowledge?
Yeah.
The first thing you wanted to was to refocus back into physical, even knowing all the resistance that was possible that was there. So when you begin to think about the idea of releasing thought and re-emerging into non-physical, which is releasing all resistance, isn't it even more an even more delicious thought to think about being fully focused in this physical body and in a state of non-resistance?
Yes.
In other words, isn't it even better than dying?
Yes.
To have practiced your way into the vortex in a really consistent way? It just doesn't get better than to be physically focused, tuned into who you are, and fully focused in a moment in time. So now you like the taste of that, don't you? So what are you going to do about it? Now you have to practice being in the vortex. So meditation is a really good way. You could do it when you go to sleep too, because when you go to sleep, you reemerge into non-physical, but it's not the same. When you meditate, you actually have the visceral sensation of non-resistance. So if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would practice being in the vortex in any way we could. We would meditate to do it. We would compliment to do it. We would make lists of positive aspects. There is a process that we offered some time ago that it was called the creation box, where you just get a box, something beautiful or something cardboard, it doesn't really matter, but write on the box, creation box, and then write what's in this box is, and then put pictures of everything that is important to you, pictures of blissful walks, and pictures of people in love, and pictures of happiness, and pictures of the things you want to possess, pictures of lifestyles and state of being. In other words, focusing as you put it into the box on the reality of it. That's a powerful way to train yourself in little snatches of time into a vibration of non-resistance.
Okay. I do many of those things. The box is not one, though, but I will.
Well, it's just a fast way to do a sort of vibrational reality, because you accept that this picture of this lifestyle that I want to live is a picture and not a reality. But there's something about putting it into the box and proclaiming it as done that for a moment can give you a little bit of a lift. And in time, you'll be able to go back through your box and pull the pieces out of your box and say, that's done, that's done, that's done, that's done. In other words, your creation boxes will come to vivid reality, but we don't want you to create a creation box in order to make a vivid reality. We want you to create a creation box because it's better than dying. For now. For now.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, it is better than dying.
You see, you can say to us, I experienced a bliss beyond description, but I don't want to do it again yet. That's sort of where you're standing, isn't it? In other words, I experienced a bliss beyond description. It was a relief that I can't even articulate. It was a wholeness. It was a oneness. It was a beingness. It was a worthiness. It was a love that I can't even find words to describe. But I don't want to go there yet. Because you think that means you got to let go of all of this. But think about what we're talking about here today. Not letting go of all of this, just letting go of the parts of this that are keeping you from that. Wouldn't you like to walk into a room knowing who you are and knowing who everyone else is and loving yourself and all of them? Wouldn't that feel sweet?
It does.
Wouldn't you like to see the oil bubbling up in that hole in the floor of the ocean and know that it's still all right? Wouldn't you like knowing that? Wouldn't you like knowing that the earth is spinning in its orbit and that the well-being abounds? Wouldn't you like to have such frequent glimpses into the vortex that mass consciousness has created that you never, ever, ever again worry about humanity, about its survival, about its sustaining, about its existence? Wouldn't you like to know these things, you see? That's who you have to be dead in most cases to know that. But you all have the inside track on that. In other words, you now understand that there is a vibrational world that you can tap into in a knowing way. Wouldn't you like to be like Jesus, who could stand looking at someone who is dripping in illness and so know their vortex version that this version doesn't mean anything, that this version is so temporary, that the knowledge of who they really are and the wellness that they really possess and that the wellness that they have really created and carved out of life, that's who they are, and just know it so powerfully that when you look at them, they know it too. And because they know it, it must manifest right before their eyes and your eyes and everyone else's eyes, because the illness cannot abide in a vibration that knows that much well-being. Wouldn't you like to be someone living, not dead, living, there is only life, but living. Don't you want to be that, you see?
Yes.